What is up, guys? Good morning. Made some pancakes this morning for my children. A couple of my nephews spent the night last night with the boys. So now I'm finishing coffee and I am about to take Mac and Mercy, our little baby goats that were born really in a traumatic whirlwind a week ago. We're about to take them outside for the first time, and they're gonna start staying outside because it's getting to where like they need to be able to move around. It's really tempting when you have like bottle baby goats to keep them inside for a long time, and some people do it, and that, you know, more power to them. I like to move them out in with a goat herd as soon as possible so that they learn to act like goats and that they know they are goats, because the time will come that they have to stay outside. But with Mac and Mercy, her leg was kind of weak and I really just wanted them to get sturdy. Plus, in the first week, I mean, they're eating like every 3 to 4 hours, and so it's just a heck of a lot easier to do that when they're in the house. So while we wait for my coffee to pour over, I have to tell you guys something so funny that Sweet Maya did yesterday, and I told him that he was about as legit of a farmer as I've ever seen because of this.
What are you about to say?
So last night Maya he had some leftover rice, like white rice, in the fridge that we'd saved, and he decided he wanted to make some rice pudding. He's just like, this sounds really good. I've got this white rice, I'm gonna make some rice pudding. And I've been making cheese lately, and then of course we've got the bottle baby, so we're going through more milk and other things. And we didn't have a lot of milk left over last night. So he's measuring out for his recipe and realized that he didn't have enough milk. And this man straight up goes outside and milks the goat and comes in and just strains the milk directly into his recipe. And I was like, it's like running to the store when you realize you're out of something when you're trying to cook something, except for, you know, running out to the animal and just getting the milk directly from the animal to put in your recipe. Hey, you got your rice pudding, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a legend or anything.
Oh my goodness. Hey guys! Can y'all come help me with something?
Yeah, sure.
Grab some boots, put some boots on, and I need you guys to carry these baby goats out. We're gonna put them out in the yard. You need boots on though.
Old enough now?
Yeah, they're old enough. You need boots on, okay?
Okay, I'm going to go into my boots. These
baby goats have been seriously like doing parkour off the walls of this tub that they're staying in, so it's definitely time. I'm curious, and I wanted to get it on camera because I think that they might be like wide open space.
But so we still have to feed these baby goats.
Yeah, they still have to hold him, careful.
Okay.
Alright, let's come bring him out here. You got her? Their mom had a hard time when they were born. I'll show her to you, but she didn't.
Okay.
Bear, be sweet.
Bear.
Thanks, Brennan.
Nope. Shoe Miriam.
It's okay. They're just gonna check them out. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
What do you guys think? Oh, that's some big goats, huh? So here is Beatrice, who is Mac and Mercy's mom. So these little guys are probably gonna fuss and cry for a little bit until they kind of catch the drift of being goats. They just don't know how yet, do you, Mac? You just don't know how to be a goat yet. The other babies that live out here, obviously, they're locked up right now because I have to milk the mamas. And so once I let those babies out, hello, sir. He's checking out the camera. Once I let those babies out, you know, within the day, these guys will have adjusted a lot. And within a couple of days, they'll just act like they were always out here. All the mamas are being real sweet to them, though, which is good to see. Look at Miriam. How close do you think she is? She looks pretty dang close to me. I'm closely watching Miriam and Adele, who are like very close to kidding. Should be any time now. She's getting around good.
You can tell she's still severing that leg a little bit.
Yeah. So it's the middle of March, and this right now, this season, these weeks where the transition from winter to, you know, springtime, it happens every year, and it just like the way that it happens, the way that it sneaks up on you, I cannot describe it, but it is the same every single time. So it's like we're in the throes of winter. We are missing the farm. We're missing all the stuff. I mean, it's just planning, waiting, resting, wintertime. And then it's like, oh, you start the seeds. And then the goats start kidding, you know, one by one. And the weather starts warming up. And every single year, it's like, just one day, I'll wake up and it's like, oh, I've got half a dozen goats to milk, and we've got bottle babies, and we've got chicks coming. I got a notification that our Murray order is about to ship next week, and you know, the seedlings are being up potted, and it's time to sow some seeds in the ground, and I'm in the soil, and it's like, I don't know how such a surefire cycle. I mean, spring always comes back, and I tell people this, but I don't know how. It always sneaks up on me. Like, I anticipate it, and then always I'm like, oh, here it is. Full-blown springtime. Anna is such a good girl. Half the time I don't even remember to latch her in, and she stands so good. If she ever even sidesteps for a moment, I know it's because she's out of food. She's so good. She's what people call a bomb-proof milker. Like, she doesn't ever kick or fight. She's actually my best of my La Manchas. I think Miriam, the one that I said is about to kid, she's probably my best Nubian milker. And she always has been really good. And the thing with Miriam is she produces a lot. She produces almost a gallon a day. She has a perfect udder. She's like a perfect specimen of a Nubian. She's exactly what she's supposed to be. She's not a good mom. Like, I am anticipating the fact that I'll have to bottle feed her kids, which for some people is a deal breaker. Some people won't keep a dam that's a bad mom in their herd. Some people prefer to pull all their kids at birth. And in fact, people who do a lot of show breeding or professional dairies, that's what they do, because that's the only way to prevent transmission of CAE, which is a disease that goats can get. And those new goats that I got, that's what they had. So some people, they do that on purpose, so it doesn't matter. And with Miriam, my thing with her is, as I brought her home when she was 5 months old, she was my first Nubian, she was my second goat, and I'm attached to her. I've had her for 6 years. She's my pet, and keeping her and not breeding her means that she's just costing money. And so at least if we breed her, even if I do have to bottle feed the kids, at least I'm still getting milk from her and getting kids from her. So I keep her, but I don't like to keep goats that are bad moms. Oh, Maya stuck some bacon in the oven before coming outside. I just pulled it out, and check out these beautiful eggs. We are back in full swing with egg production. They're so pretty. The first meal that we were routinely raising from our farm was breakfast. And I'm actually not a big breakfast eater. If I eat breakfast, it's usually much later in the morning. It still strikes me sometimes whenever we're making a breakfast that was sourced entirely from our farm, that that still excites me. I don't know if there's a point where you get over it, where you're like, oh yeah, I raise a lot of our own food and it's no big deal, and where you routinely look at a plate and realize that everything on it came from your farm and came from what you raised and what you worked hard for. Maybe that gets to be something that you're used to. I don't know. Can't speak for that because I am certainly not used to it. So I'm still hand milking. We actually do have a milk machine that we've never used. We just bought it between last year and this year. And right now I'm milking 4 goats every morning. I've decided to just slowly dry off Mac and Mercy's mom, just because the trauma of their birth and the fact that she was on antibiotics, she's producing very little, and I'm just gonna let her heal and not milk her. And also Margot, who has the little 2 doelings, I'm not milking her either because her production is not great. So I have 4 does that I'm milking every morning, and then I have 2 more that are about to kid, and then I have 2 more that'll be kidding a little bit later. My limit on what I'll hand milk is 6. I can hand milk 6. After that, my arms are like, stop, I hate you. It's evening, and I'm, oh, bless them. They're over here all alone. They just had bottles. Maya was just out here. Hey, guys. Hey. It's okay. It'll feel normal soon. We're not milking yet, Anna girl. So I just popped out here real quick to check on my girls that are so close. And I mean, nobody has any signs of active labor. But I was thinking about it, and I realized that we've had goat kids born the last 3 Sundays. We've had 2 does this year give birth while we were on our Sunday night live stream. And so I was coming out to see if anybody had any really impending signs, because we're about to go live here in a few minutes. But I don't see anything. I mean, Miriam's definitely getting close. Her udder's getting really big, but I can still feel some ligaments. And Adele, if you'll notice the way she's real sunk in, I mean, that's pretty new. She's just dropped. Oh, and her ligaments, I can't feel much of anything. I think I can feel maybe a tiny bit of ligament, but not much. She's gotta be close. I don't think that she'll have them in the next hour. I think she would have more signs of being close. Tonight after our live, when we come out to milk Anna and put the goat kids up, I'll definitely be isolating Adele in a stall, because I really don't feel much by way of ligament, so she's gotta be pretty close. I have some interesting storm clouds in the sky. Daffodils are blooming. That makes me glad. So this is funny. I have a whole bunch of beans coming up right here in this bed by the front. These all just were sown from the things that fell from last year. And there are quite a few of them coming up in the bed. Now, beans are very frost tender, so if it goes below freezing, these will die. However, you know, I mean, they're growing on their own. I was gonna put peas right here, but normally I would have sown those by now, and I didn't. So I kind of have half a mind to let these pole beans go. This is either purple potted pole beans or rattlesnake pole beans. That's what was here last year. And these are just pods that got big at the end that didn't get harvested and fell. And there are quite a few of them. I could spread them out because some of them are growing in a cluster, because obviously it was a pod that fell and they all sprouted. But I'm thinking I might could spread them out and just see. The worst that could happen is it freezes and they die. Even though our last frost date is not until the middle of April, the second week of April this year is what they're forecasting on that. It could not freeze. Anything you put in your garden that's frost tender before your last frost date is a gamble. It's just a risk. But I didn't really put these here, so I mean, my thought is if I'm just gonna sow beans here after the frost, I might as well let them try to grow, right? All of my onions survived the cold and look great. And I've got some cabbages and broccoli, and these little sprigs coming up. Those are unfortunately curly mint, which I had in a pot next to this bed. One little sprig fell in, rooted, and when I saw it, I very vividly remember looking at it and thinking, I should get that out of this bed, because if I leave it, I'm gonna have mint in this bed until the end of time. And then I went and wrote a gardening book that very strictly expressed that you should contain your mint, because mint is a crazy bully and will take over. And then I left that curly mint in the bed, and I saw those sprigs poking up today, and I was like, what is that? And I looked at it really close. I'm like, gosh, those are curly leaves. And I was like, oh, and I took it and crushed some of it and smelled it. It's coming up all in that bed. So I'm either gonna have to be extremely vigilant to like consistently tear it out, or else it will take over. I'm talking like that whole 4x8 foot bed within the next year will just be overflowing with mint. It'll be in the walkways. Mint is a maniac and it will take over your garden. Oh, these are so tiny. I don't know if you'll even be able to see them, but these beets that I planted here, they are coming up. Yay! Artie the artichoke making his comeback per the usual. Radishes. I love the garden. So much. Like right now, it's about to storm. And, oh, it feels like spring outside. It's almost spring outside. We got baby goat kids. We got seedlings coming up. Literally, I wish that I could just boop you on the head and let you feel when I come down here this time of year, just the overwhelming abundance of possibility of this. I love it. I just wish I could share that joy with you because I love it. I mean, things like volunteer beans popping up all along this row. It makes me so happy. Okay, one quick look in here and then I'm gonna run inside because it's starting to rain and there's a little bit of thunder and lightning. All right. I spent quite a few hours out here the other day potting tomatoes and planting some other things. I still have some tomatoes to pot. See up here all I got done. These are actually starts I got from a local nursery that I've got some spinach and lettuce, red romaine and chard. And these are going in my Greenstalk. I'm going to do a video about that later this week. I actually went to that local nursery today and saw a friend, a local gardening friend that I made actually through YouTube, Ray. His channel's Horticulture Geek. And chatted with him. My cold weather starts with all of the snow and all of the cold and many overcast days. They got real leggy and they were just kind of puny. And I have some of them and I've moved some of them out. But I went ahead and bought some and I was just talking to him about how I just needed to be in a nursery. I was just ready to be in the garden. And of course the nurseries don't have a whole lot yet. They're just starting to get things in. But guys, it may have snuck up on me, but spring is here and the overwhelming joy that I feel in that is, I just can't describe it. I know some of you guys are still in the frigid north. You're still facing snow and all those different things even for a couple more months. So while I cannot warm your garden for you, I can give you a little glimpse into mine. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I'm so happy for this time of year and to turn the camera back on for another year in the Roots and Refuge garden. Actually, the last year in this garden before we go and build another one. And I think knowing that is making it all the more sweet. I want to savor it for everything wonderful that it is. Thank you guys, and I bless you. Until next time.